Hi, this is Dale O'Shills, pastor of Church of the Redeemer in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Thanks so much for joining me for our devotional time. I hope these are a benefit to you. I also encourage you, if you're being blessed by them, to share them with other people. Maybe just email them, forward them to someone, or encourage someone to subscribe to them. It'll be a blessing, I believe, in their lives. I want to talk to you today about loneliness. You know, it's been said that in our world today we have an epidemic of loneliness. Actually, the Prime Minister of Great Britain not too long ago actually established a position called the Minister of Loneliness, or Minister for Loneliness. And she recognized that there was such a crisis in this issue of loneliness in that nation that she wanted to do something to actually address it in a very specific way. Well, I think it's really true that although we live in a world that is filled with all kind of connecting points when it comes to the internet and email and text messages and social media networks and the mobility of our society, there are a lot of reasons why we shouldn't be lonely, but nevertheless we are. There are many people living in a sense and with a sense of isolation, all by themselves, kind of feeling all alone. So what do you do to combat loneliness in your life? Let me talk to you about some things that can help you overcome loneliness. Number one, you need to know that you're never alone, that God is always with you. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 28, he said, "I am with you always to the very end of the age." Remember today that you are not alone, that God is with you. And then also make sure that you're connecting with God's people. Sometimes there's this interesting dynamic that happens when we feel lonely. We actually, instead of drawing into people, we tend to pull away from people. Our loneliness actually creates more isolation at times. And that's why God created the church. It's called a spiritual community. And you can't benefit from the church unless you become a part of the life of the church. That's why the writer of Hebrews tells us that we're not to neglect the assembling of ourselves together. We need to connect with the people of God, and God has established a community for you to be a part of called His church as a follower of Jesus Christ. And then I would also encourage you to make sure that you're reaching out and befriending other people. In Proverbs 18, verse 24, the King James Version says that a man who has friends must show himself friendly. If you want friends, you need to be friendly. If you want to have people in your world, you need to care about their world. And so I want to encourage you to just battle the spirit of loneliness in your life. You don't need to be alone. God is with you. God has given you a way to find fulfillment. Don't live in isolation. Live in community.